And welcome everybody to our Victim Support Directory information session and demonstration. We are Findhelp Information Services. I'm Jill. I'm here with my colleague Julia, and we're going to be giving you a brief history of the VSD and a little walkthrough of how to use the site for yourself and for anyone you might be referring on behalf of. So if we could hit the next slide, please. Thank you so much. So this webinar is going to present some recent enhancement we've made to Findhelp's Victim Support Directory. I'll call it that, and also the VSD pretty interchangeably. We're going to take you through a quick demonstration of the website so you can get a better idea of the new experience from the client perspective, also how you can use it if you're working with clients to refer services. In this way, we'll also cover how you can stay engaged with the VSD in your day-to-day work, and at the end of the session, we'll answer any questions you might have. If we could hit the next slide. Thank you so much. We're going to take a moment now for our territorial acknowledgement. I'll start with the broad strokes of Findhelp's territorial acknowledgement and then specific to this session. So our Findhelp offices are located on the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. Lands now home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. This land is covered by Treaty 13 and the Williams Treaties, agreements meant to uphold mutual respect, but repeatedly dishonored by long-term settlers and their descendants. Colonial systems continue to create inequities that disproportionately affect Indigenous peoples. As people who live and work on these lands, we have a responsibility to learn from Indigenous voices, challenge colonial systems, and support Indigenous-led work towards reconciliation and decolonization. We encourage you to share where you are situated today in the chat and for us to remain grounded in the principles of decolonization in all our work. We recognize that land acknowledgements are often offered in place of action and that it is our responsibility in our organizational practices, our work, our policies, and in our future work to show up with respect, accountability, and reconciliation worldviews. Our next slide, please. So I'll give you a brief history of the VSD and how we came to be involved in it. The VSD has existed for many years under different agencies. So it began under the Ministry of the Attorney General before switching along to the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services during COVID. At that point, the VSD was embedded in the ministry site. It didn't have a location or an identity of its own. And then in 2023, Findhelp received funding from MCCSS to modernize the directory, to enhance it, make it more community-focused and accessible, and to have its own place as a support service. So at this point in 2023, the site's more than 10 years old. It felt more bureaucratic than people-centered. It also didn't provide things like keyword searches. It had limited functionality. And while it provided some information about victim service programs, it didn't include broader supports like housing, food, financial assistance, or cultural resources. We've addressed those limitations through our enhancements since we recognize that survivors of crime often have complex and multifaceted needs. In redesigning it, we knew that collaboration within the sector is essential for meeting the diverse needs of our survivors. We hit the next slide, please. Thank you so much. So this site is uniting a network of helplines to build it, which helps reinforce trust across the system, and it supports a broader, trauma-informed, comprehensive approach. Some of the gender-based violence helplines we've added over the years and who helped us in collaboration to create this site is Trans Helpline, Talk for Healing, FemAid, Support Services for Male Survivors of Sexual Abuse, and the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline. As well, of course, the Victim Support Line is offered through the VSD, and of course, also the Assaulted Women's Helpline. These were all partners in creating the site and how we share these supports across the sector. So the VSD coordinates within these systems with these lines and others to reduce duplication and redundancy. The data that the VSD also is supported by 211 and our other partnerships. So this allows other organizations to access and utilize the databases of these services to support their own needs and communities. We deeply recognize that the work to eliminate gender-based violence in Ontario relies on partnerships, relies on collaborations and sharing resources and data, and that's what best serves our sector. So when we work together, we can move quickly, effectively, and best serve our communities. Next slide, please. In these partnerships, in these collaborations, the overarching goals of it were to collaborate and advance the development of several key areas. We wanted to make sure that the site had its own identity, that it was safe, welcoming, and most importantly, survivor-centric. We want to create an environment that feels secure, it feels friendly, it's inviting for those who are affected by gender-based violence. We want to make sure it's easy to use and is AODA compliant. It also provides the most current and complete data set of GBV services. We've also, as we'll walk you through in the demonstration, made sure it has included built-in safety features and also features that help a user track and save referrals easily with things like our emergency exit button and the clipboard feature that lets people save referrals or clear referrals if they need to. All these enhancements together are creating a safe, welcoming, and survivor-centric directory that's accessible and current with making sure we really focus on safety features. I'll also put on your radar that in the future, we're having a chatbot come out. It's currently in demo, but stay tuned for this new way for survivors to also access services. And with that, we're going to dig a bit deeper into the enhancements that the VSD has had, and Julie is going to take us through a working demonstration of the site. If you have any questions, we are happy to take them at the end of the demonstration. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, Jill, and welcome everybody. I think some of the people that helped us build this site are probably on the call today. So welcome and thank you again for all your help with enhancing this website. I'm going to just start here on the main page. So this is sort of the new look and feel of our website. As Jill mentioned, our old website was kind of more government looking, more bureaucratic looking. And one of the things that we really wanted to focus on with the enhancements to the website was ensuring that it felt, safe and friendly and open for people who have experienced any form of violence. So one of the safety was our priority from the get-go on this project. And one of the first features that was added to the website was the safety exit button, which you'll see on the bottom right corner of the screen here. And when you click this button, it'll take you out of the site. There'll be no history or tracking of the site, and basically brings you back to a neutral Google search page so that no one knows that you've been on the site. And this is really useful for people who are still living or who might be living with their abusers and who, are trying to do some searching for themselves to find services, but quickly need to exit because that person has come in the room. So that was one of the main features that that was a priority for us to add to the site. I'm also just going to point your attention to the chat online box that is on the main page. This chat box links people directly to our 211 navigators who answer the victim support line, which is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service. The chat feature, sometimes people prefer to use chat because it might be more discreet than making a phone call would be. The chat feature, we do outline here some terms that we need the user to agree to prior to engaging in a chat with one of our navigators. And it's basically, we might ask the person for an email address or their age or postal code. And we just tried to assure people that this information isn't being used internally. It's simply used to make sure that we're referring you to the service that best meets your needs. The other piece that's laid out in the terms is that we always strive for 100% confidentiality, but as we all know, with the internet and different tracking devices that might be on a computer, it's really difficult to 100% guarantee that. So we try to outline that there so that people know upfront. The other thing is, if we do fear that your safety or someone else's is in danger, it may be that we try to send help your way. So we just need people to kind of read those terms and agree to them before engaging in a chat with one of our navigators. And they have to click this I agree button to start the chat. Next to the chat feature, in bold font is the phone number for our victim support line, which again is answered by our 211 navigators, the same people that answer the 211 chat here, or the chat online here. And this is offered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week across all of Ontario. And again, it's the people that answer the victim support line. There are 211 navigators who have been specially trained on the victim support services across the province of Ontario and are able to connect you with the service that best meets your needs. So that's both on the phone line and on the chat feature. I'm just going to also show you at the bottom of the page here. There's a little person icon, and this is our accessibility feature that was added to the website. Now, this is a work in progress, and it is going to be changing and enhancing over time. Right now, the focus is on people with low vision. So you can sort of press any of these options to make it more easily visible to people. So there's contrasting colors, you can highlight links so that they stand out and you can easily access them, bigger text, whatever it is. So that's a feature that was added. And again, we continue to work with partners in the community. Right now, I believe we're working with the Canadian Hearing Society, and we're hoping to develop some American Sign Language videos about how to navigate the site to the accessibility feature in the coming weeks and months. So we look forward to that. And all right, I'm gonna close that. And then we're going to move down to the searching options for the website. So right now, we offer a keyword search. That was not a search that we offered on the old site. And as we all know, most of us do keyword searches these days. That's how we search on Google and whatever. So the keyword searching is a quick and effective way usually to find what we're looking for. The one drawback might be that you don't know what terminology to use to find the services that you need. So that's just something to keep in mind. And it's why we offer both a keyword and a topic search. So I'll talk about the topic search in a couple minutes, but just wanted to focus on the keyword search right now. So you can do a click here, and it gives you search options, give you results to filter your services within a particular within 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 25 kilometers, and that would be a distance search that you would be using to locate those services. The keyword search option doesn't necessarily default or work. It does work with the distance search, but usually we suggest using a best match search. And so as a result, the site actually defaults to a best match search when you try to type in a keyword search here. So I'm going to show you a search for, I'm going to do one in Toronto with postal code M6H3. A4. And I am going to search by keyword. And I want to find services for someone who does not have OHIP coverage. So in that case, I am going to type in no OHIP. And I'm going to place around those some uh, quotation marks because we found that the quotation marks help to narrow the search even further. And it's actually going to look for that as a phrase. And this is a phrase that is mentioned in several of our records. So let's just see what comes up here if I do a search for this. So yes, we get several community health centers across Toronto, which offer uh, uh, non-OHIP covered healthcare to people. So Access Alliance Multicultural Health Center being one of them. I'm just going to show you where that phrase, no OHIP, shows up here. So this is these are our listings, and the term no OHIP shows up in the description of the record under primary care services. So as you can see, using that phrase easily pulled up these records. And this is a view of what every record in our database, all the mandatory fields that are included. So we have a description field. We have an eligibility field to let people know who is eligible for the service. We have different services mentioned, access points across the city for these services, as well as an application process and general information on the phone number, fees, if there's fees involved. In this case, there aren't. Um, and hours of operation, that kind of thing. So that's what all of our records in the database look like. They all contain those mandatory pieces of information. I'm going to go back here to the main search page, and I'm going to probably go on to talk about the topic search next. So the topic searches, and Jill mentioned this earlier, we have tried to expand the services that we include on this directory. Before it was strictly victim-related services that we had, but we realized that in order to meet the needs of survivors of gender-based violence, it would be really useful to have services that include food banks and housing and lodging information, um, lots of services that a survivor might be looking for that you might not think to look for. So yeah, just wanted to point that out that the area of focus for this website is definitely been expanded to include a wider range of services from our 211 database. So I'm going to show you a topic search for, I'm going to do it this time in Peel region. And I'm going to click on one of our topic areas here. I've picked crisis emergency. So as you can see, the crisis emergency basically brings up a list of subtopics under that category that are related to that category. And with it comes a one-line description of the type of services you would be searching for if you clicked on these. Um, uh, sorry. So in this case, I am going to do a search for, did I type in Peel region already? Yes. I typed in Peel region and I'm going to do a search for shelters for abuse. And so this brings up services across Peel region, which are for women who have in abusive situations. So um, same kind of view of things as the keyword search brought up. And I will mention that this view that you're looking at with the results is what we call the list view. So it's just basic information, the agency name, the phone number, crisis number, just the basics on it. But we also have a map feature where it plots the locations on a map. And in order to see the information, you just click on one of these bubbles and it'll bring you to the record information that I showed you previously. What else did I want to mention? Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you was the clipboard feature, which Jill mentioned earlier. So if there are services that say I want to save and pass along to a client I'm serving, or if I just want to be able to review myself later, I can select those here and it'll place them on, you have to click Add All Results to Clipboard, and then you can go to the clipboard feature to see the results that you saved. And you can either um, print or download those results if you want, or you could share them via email with yourself or a client who needs them. So, okay. The other thing I did want to mention was we have a located near and a serving search. For the most part, if you're in the Toronto, Greater Toronto area or any bigger metropolitan areas, you're going to be using the located near search. And that's because you have so many services available in those areas. So you don't usually have to go outside of your area to find services that serve you. Whereas if you live, up north in Northern Ontario, or if you live in small, Southern Ontario, small town, uh, you're not going to necessarily have services physically located in the communities that you're searching for. So, you're gonna use a serving search in that case to find services outside of your region that serve your region. So, for instance, if I were to type in Coburg, which is a small town in Ontario, and do a search for sexual assault, say, I'm going to do a serving search because it's likely that the service I need is not physically located here. And yes, that brings up Kawartha Sexual Assault Center, which again um, shows you that it serves Northumberland County, where Coburg is located. So um, just wanted to point that feature out. Okay. The other piece I wanted to point out was with the topic searches being expanded, we also included, sorry, I'm going to take Coburg out of there. We also included several population searches on the website. There's one for Black-led, Black serving, Black focused communities, 2S LGBTQ, women and youth. And basically, when you click on any of these topics, you're going to find services that are um, geared to those populations. And the one, the thing I did also want to mention was we added recently a search for men onto the topic searches. And this is because over the last several years, the male support services for survivors of sexual abuse has been sort of a very a resource that's been highly needed lately. So we at Find Help run a helpline called the Male Survivors of Sexual Abuse Hotline. And we thought we need to add a category to the website for this population as well. So again, this mentions our 24/7 multilingual support service for male survivors. And then below that are some other services and helplines and housing and shelter related to the topic that we might refer uh, male survivors to. Okay, one last feature I wanted to show everyone is our dashboard here. Um, Now, this is information on this dashboard has been collected anonymously from all of our navigators that answer the victim support line. And you can basically type in a time period for a specific time frame and search the services that were most referred to during that time frame. So victim quick response, it does always tend to be one of the most popular services that are referred to. But yeah, it just kind of outlines for you what those services, what those searches were. And you can actually also refine it by geography. So if I want to know, Ajax, what was the most popular referral made in Durham region or Ajax, I can refine my search to see that information. So those are the main features we wanted to demo for this session. And we just wanted to say that, we see this as something that we hope you, as people who provide services to survivors of gender-based violence, we hope that this is a tool that will help you to serve your clients better on a day-to-day basis. We don't see it as just a list of programs. We see it as sort of an infrastructure for the victim services sector. So I believe that's all I wanted to cover. So I'm going to pass it back over to Jill.
Thanks so much. And could we pull up our PowerPoint again to the final slide? And as we're doing that, I just want to reinforce that this is only possible as a collaboration across the sector. And though the VSD is under Findhelp's umbrella for connecting databases, it's not something that any of us in the sector can do alone, and that it is for each other to use and support across the broad infrastructure that we have. So that's going to wrap it up for us. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming and hearing about the many enhancements that we've made. We're happy to take any questions now, and I would just like to point out that if you have any thoughts or questions that occur to you after this, you can always reach out to us at communications@findhelp.ca, and we'll be happy to get back to you. You are also welcome to reach out to our communications email if you would like some VSD business cards. We have these we're ordering these, and so if they're small and discreet, and if you know situations or places that it would be good to have these ready for people, you're welcome to reach out and we will send you some. They are available in English and in French. Thank you to everyone for showing up, and we really hope that putting this on your radar helps serve the communities who need it and help us create a stronger community together.